From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your Friday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, dialing up your friend to chat will take a bit longer in the new year. There's a change coming to the Treasure State when it comes to let your fingers do the walking. In 2021, Montanans will need to dial 406 when calling any Montana phone number, whether or not you are in state. Now, the Montana Public Service Commission announced today this change is a result of the FCC approving 988 as the three-digit number for the National Suicide Lifeline. Along with that change, the FCC also ruled any state with a 988 prefix, Dillon numbers here in Montana must move to mandatory 10-digit dialing in order to avoid accidental calls to the lifeline. Now, no one will need to change their number in Montana, and the mandatory 10-digit dialing will apply to the entire state. Now, the FCC suggests dialing 406 for any local number starting in April. Then come October, 7-digit local calling will no longer work. Well, the U.S. Surgeon General was in Billings today, encouraging people to wear masks and says he expects a COVID vaccine to be given next week. Vice Admiral Jerome Adam made an unscheduled stop in Billings after weather canceled his flight to Poplar. He met with medical people from Billings Clinic, St. Vincent Healthcare, and Riverstone Health. Adams wanted to hear how they are dealing with the pandemic here in Billings. He says the quickest way to recovery is wearing a mask, washing hands, and watching distance.
People are fatigued by mitigation, but I want them to know a finish line is in sight. So they should have hope. They should know that if we can do this and get through this immediate surge, then in January, we're going to start turning that dimmer switch on to a brighter day. And if people understand that, then I think that will give them the information, the hope that they need to get through a difficult time and to really stick to the things that we know will ultimately, immediately help save lives and get us to the place that we want to be.
Well, now that the Pfizer vaccine has passed a critical hurdle with a formal FDA approval, Montana hospitals can put their plans in motion. As COVID-19 cases surge in Billings and hospital beds fill, the vaccine is giving workers hope. Q2's Andrea Lutz reports.
At Billings Clinic, those first initial doses coming in as early as Wednesday.
I think there is the expected wariness about a shot and a vaccine, but for the overall organization at large, it's pretty exciting.
And as empty beds remain scarce and workers are pushed to the max, many are hoping the sight of the vaccine will serve as a much-needed calm in the fight against COVID-19.
Because of the number of patients we're seeing and the overall volume that the hospital's under, the idea of something that could kind of ebb that tide is very exciting.
The hospital's chief medical officer says vaccines are effective, and this one has been through a rigorous path to approval.
This feels very fast because it has been fast, but the standards that they've gone through with the FDA to prove that it's safe and efficacious for patients has been very, very rigorous.
While some at the clinic are still unsure if they'll take the vaccine because it's not a requirement, 75% answered they will in a recent hospital survey of employees.
But we definitely have a lot of people who are wondering when their turn will be. The next question to that is, when is my family going to be eligible?
And after this initial rollout, the hospital then gets estimates on a weekly basis for additional doses.
The hard thing to remember is that it's a limited resource to start with, but being patient over the next couple months that we will get there.
In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
Thanks, Andrea. Now, this first round of vaccines will stay in Billings and go to frontline workers. Billings Clinic has been asked also to help first responders get the vaccine as well. Well, as we head into the weekend, Montana health authorities report a dozen more deaths due to COVID-19 related illness. 9 of those victims from Cascade County. Fergus County also reports 2 more deaths and Blaine County 1. These latest deaths bring the statewide total to 831 tonight. Well, late today, the Supreme Court rejected the lawsuit out of Texas calling to overturn presidential election results in 4 key states. But before that rejection, Governor Steve Bullock was the latest Montana elected official to get involved in the suit. Bullock filed a brief asking the U.S. Supreme Court to not hear the case. Now, the suit claimed election results in 4 battleground states won by Joe Biden should be invalidated because those states made changes to election law because of COVID-19. Well, Bullock's filing said Montana made similar changes but was not included in the Texas lawsuit, and argued the suit would destabilize other states' election results, even those like Montana, where President Donald Trump and other Republican candidates won. Now, both Republican Governor-elect Greg Gianforte and Attorney General Tim Fox were in favor of the Texas suit. Well, the Montana State Capitol is a little emptier this holiday season. State administrators have decided not to put a holiday tree in the rotunda. Now, for the last 4 years, the State Department of Administration has decorated a large live tree provided by Montana loggers. In a statement, leaders say they are not doing it this year out of an abundance of caution during COVID-19. They also recently learned having a live tree in the rotunda could be a violation of fire codes. But that does not mean the Capitol will be without decorations. There will be outdoor holiday displays on the east side of the Capitol Square. Well, what is the best way to teach your kids about business? How about starting one, of course? Warbricks is a toy company that started as a homeschooling project, and it is not only turning a profit, but teaching young employees the value of hard work. Q2's Krista Rose has that story.
David, Daniel, and Emily are homeschooled, and one way they learn things like math, writing, and critical thinking is through selling toys. Their online store is called Warbricks, and it's run out of their home here in Billings. There's a lot of pride these 3 take in their company, but they'll be the first to admit that running a toy business is not all fun and games.
So complex and complicated. You have to do so many things. Yeah, you gotta do Wikipedia, SEO, shipping orders, H1s. It's annoying. But since we do that, we rank really high on Google, and that's kind of what makes us kind of the best.
And as far as they're concerned, they have one of the best products. Kobe toys are similar to Legos, and actually the 2 products are compatible. These toys are builder-friendly and largely focus on military vehicles. Not only are the Dryden kids learning a little bit about business, but they're also learning a little bit about history. Each Kobe toy is based on a real-life military vehicle, and if you scan the QR code on the box, you get a history of the real-life thing. Karini Dryden is not just the mother of these 3 young entrepreneurs, but she's the proud chairwoman of this endeavor. She says that this project is about teaching life skills to her children.
We really want to teach our kids to work. And we see a lot from business owners around everywhere, how they have a hard time keeping people working with good work ethics, show up in time, persevering, and we want that for our children. And so that's our hope, to teach these life skills as well as academics. As you know, we homeschool, but so they can be whatever they want to be when they grow up.
The company is doing well and even turning a profit. The family has shipped toys all over the United States, and every box they send comes with a handwritten thank you from the workforce. Still, as much fun as the family is having working together, I'm not sure how many are going into business for themselves once they grow up. All right, show of hands, who's going to open their own business when they get older?
It's so much work.
Emily's going to. Okay. I respect that. Good work. Reporting in Billings at Warbricks World Headquarters, Krista Rose, MTN News.
All right, thanks so much, Chris. Now, Warbricks sells toy sets from $10 to $200, and there is a little something for everyone. Now, for more information, check out this story at ktvq.com. Well, this past Monday marked the 79th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor, which hastened the United States' entry into World War II. Just a small fraction of those veterans are still alive today. But as Q2 News anchor Russ Riesinger and photojournalist Brandon Sullivan recently caught up with one who is still going strong at the age of 100.
If you've driven down Clark Avenue in Billings, you've probably seen the I.D. O'Donnell House. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. It's the house George Wallace grew up in, built by his grandfather in 1905. The house has stood the test of time, and so has George.
This is my master bedroom. There I am skating at Division Street.
He recently turned 100 years old.
This is a picture of my wife I recently framed.
He met her while a student at Montana State. George played some football there, mainly to get a little exercise, he says, but he lettered and even caught a touchdown pass in the Bobcats' opening game of the 1941 college football season. He says he owes his longevity to good genes, quitting smoking and staying active. He enjoyed one of his favorite pastimes, pheasant hunting, until he was 90. He still drives and still works in the yard.
Something I inherited from my grandfather. Says here is your good health and your family's good health, and may you all live long and prosper. I like that.
I like that too, George. Now you can see George's full story on the Q2 News at 10 o'clock this Sunday, right here on Q2. Well, up next on tonight's MTN 5:30 News on Q2, we will take you inside a brand new location for the Lockwood Boys and Girls Club. Plus screen time and your mental health. A look at how this is starting to really impact our daily lives. Stay with us.
And coming up in weather, I tell you what, guess what? We're finally starting to return back to what is, well, more December-like. Finally got a chance of snow. Temps will be in the 30s and 40s this week. And a good chance for some snow tonight and again tomorrow morning. Just a light dusting, about 2 to 4 inches in some cases. We'll have more about this in a few more minutes.